From Eileen to Trinity Rodman, these female athletes are shaping fashion. Who run the world? Girls. Beyoncé famously said it best. The sentiment rang especially true at the 2026 Milan-Cortina Winter Olympic Games, where female athletes dominated the competition and earned long overdue recognition for their achievements. Freestyle skier Eileen secured 1 gold and 2 silver medals. Ice skater Alyssa Liu scored 2 golds. The USA women's hockey team took home gold, defeating Canada. Indeed, these ladies are truly an inspiration, and lately, their influence has stretched beyond sports. Increasingly, women athletes around the world are making their mark on the fashion industry, too. Take GU, for instance. Fresh off the Winter Olympics, where she became the most decorated female freeskier in history, the 22-year-old sat front row at the Prada show during MFW Fall/Winter 2026. And she wasn't the only athlete to accept the coveted invite. Caitlin Clark, a WNBA player for the Indiana Fever, was seated next to GU. Both dressed head-to-toe in Prada. These young trailblazers fit right in with the high-style crowd, which also boasted emerging girls Sarah Pigeon and Maud Apatow. Other female athletes have cemented themselves as up-and-coming street-style stars, rivaling the classic model off-duty aesthetic. One such person is Isaura Thybus, a French right-hand foil fencer. A style chameleon, the 4-time Olympian attended numerous fashion shows this past year, becoming a magnet for photographers outside the shows. And the same could be said of tennis star Aryna Sabalenka, who has mastered the art of minimalism, as seen in her off-court outfits. Below, find the female athletes whose style prowess has been impossible to ignore lately. Indeed, GU made sartorial waves at the Prada show, arriving in a tailored charcoal gray jacket and matching knee-grazing skirt. And she didn't head home after the Milan festivities. The fashion darling touched down in Paris, where she looked like a real-life fairy at the Le Grande Diner du Louvre in Iris Van Herpen. In a recent interview with Vogue, GU shared that her passions include skiing, school, and fashion. Fashion keeps me in touch with my femininity, she told the outlet. Growing up in a male-dominated sport, I didn't realize being treated equally as a girl was even an option until I discovered the fashion industry. Thybus is a force to be reckoned with in the fashion scene. Over the past year alone, the fencer attended multiple fashion shows, a few being Lacoste and Amy. Thybus is also the brainchild of 1900, an independent magazine spotlighting female athletes through stories about sports, fashion, and culture. For its latest issue, the Paris-based creative wore a streamlined Ferragamo and Prada look styled by Elvira Tiao. Liu may have made headlines during the Olympic Games for her halo-style hair and frenulum piercing, a piercing located on the upper gum tissue. But her fashion sense is just as distinctive. Turns out, the skater has been teaming up with stylist Mayako Belizzi, the Oscar-winning costume designer who worked on Marty Supreme. For The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon on March 3rd, Belizzi dressed the 20-year-old in a NYC Nike white tee layered over a plaid button-up, finished with slouchy camo pants. Billie Eilish on ice was how one Instagram user described her in GQ's post about the outfit, referencing the similarities between the two's oversized, menswear-inspired styles. Trinity Rodman, a professional soccer forward for the Washington Spirit, is an emerging fashion girl to watch. Last month, the 23-year-old made history by becoming the highest-paid women's soccer player in the world, signing the contract in a black Willy Chavarria suit, striped tie, and Adidas sneakers. According to a chat with GQ, Rodman is all for stepping outside the sartorial box. Describing her process behind getting dressed, she told the publication, "I'll put it on, and even if I'm looking at something like, oh, that's ugly, I'll be like, all right, let's put it on, see what happens." And then that ends up being the moment that people are like, that was fire. And that's dope. From Eileen to Trinity Rodman, these female athletes are shaping fashion. For decades, the relationship between sports and fashion was simple. Athletes wore uniforms designed for performance, while fashion belonged to runways and red carpets. But in the 21st century, that boundary has dissolved. Today's female athletes are not only dominating their sports, they are also redefining style, influencing fashion trends, and transforming how society views athletic identity. From Olympic skiing sensation Eileen to soccer star Trinity Rodman, a new generation of athletes is merging performance and personal expression. They are appearing at fashion weeks, designing their own clothing, partnering with luxury brands, and inspiring millions through their style. These women are proving that strength, talent, and fashion are not separate worlds but powerful allies. The rise of the athlete as fashion icon. Modern sports culture has shifted dramatically. Social media, global branding, and celebrity culture have allowed athletes to present themselves as full personalities rather than just competitors. Female athletes, in particular, have embraced this opportunity to showcase their individuality. Marketing experts note that social media has transformed how athletes interact with fans and brands. Instead of relying solely on sponsors to shape their public image, athletes now control their own storytelling and identity online. This shift has allowed many female athletes to step into the fashion spotlight. They are no longer just endorsers of athletic wear. They are tastemakers influencing global style. Among the leaders of this movement is freestyle skiing superstar Eileen, whose career perfectly illustrates the merging of sport and fashion. Eileen, where Olympic gold meets haute couture. Eileen represents the modern athlete in its purest form. Born in San Francisco and competing internationally in freestyle skiing, she has become one of the most recognizable figures in winter sports. But her influence goes far beyond the slopes. Gu has won multiple Olympic medals and dominated international competitions. Yet what truly sets her apart is how she has balanced elite athletic performance with a thriving modeling and fashion career. She has worked with major luxury brands such as Louis Vuitton, Tiffany & Company, Gucci, and Fendi, appearing in campaigns and on magazine covers around the world. Her presence at global fashion events reinforces her status as both athlete and style icon. After competing at the 2026 Winter Olympics, Gu quickly transitioned to attending Milan Fashion Week, showcasing the dual identity she embraces as both competitor and model. What makes Gu's influence particularly powerful is how naturally she blends performance with elegance. On the slopes, she wears technical gear built for extreme conditions. Off the slopes, she appears in designer gowns, tailored suits, and avant-garde runway looks. For Gu, fashion is not separate from sports. It is another form of self-expression. She has often emphasized how femininity and athleticism can coexist beautifully. Her success demonstrates that female athletes do not have to choose between strength and style. They can embody both. The power of personal branding. Eileen Gu's influence also highlights another key element of modern